Alright everyone, so this is what we will create. A nice little page with a simple video in it. This is another video that we got. So simple header, right? We've used this white background and this green color. So this is a interesting combination. I think it looks very nice. Then we've had some sort of portfolio section and what our clients say section. It's a fairly simple website. We have also the contact us form, so with some sort of different style of these button. You can change it out, these inputs, colors and stuff like that. It's up to you. And lastly, we have a footer, very simple footer section. So yeah, this is basically what we will create in the next hour or so. Okay, so I've got here the folder opened up. I have a index.html. You should be able to get this kind of template somehow. I will make sure so that it is somewhere posted. Also, I have the main.css where I just have like simple two classes of primary background color, which is once set to one sort of color, and primary color. So we will use these two classes to actually style out our text. Also, I've got the image folder where I have a lot of images that we can use throughout this whole project. So, and also lastly, I have a video file that we will use in the index section, so or in the hero section. So let's get actually into it. One thing that I just want to say is that I got this video on Pixabay. You can use this for free. There is plenty of videos and images. It's great to use when you create a website. And also I want to say that I just imported this railway font from Google Fonts. So just so that we are clear, I will just right away put it inside here. And I will just say that the body will use this font. Cool. So with all of that being done, let me just start out this by typing the navigation. So navigation, and we can actually use some sort of navbar that is already created from this getbootstrap.com. So getbootstrap.com, and inside here we can just go to the documentation. And in here, just type the navbar, and we will get the navigation, some sort of. There's plenty of code snippets. So if you can just simply copy paste it into your project, and yeah, and you have a working navigation pretty much instantly. So that's pretty cool thing to do, in my opinion. I will just remove these things that we don't need. So this is like a larger navigation, right, with a lot of things in there, but I will just remove most of them. And let me just actually take this one, move it above the active one, and yeah, and let me just, instead of this active, say like navigation button. Okay, so we will style this navigation button later on in the CSS, and it should say maybe something like contact us. So don't worry about it. And right now, let me actually go ahead and start out the developer tools. So Chrome developer tools, and let me just take a look at how it looks like. Okay, so we have the whole navigation bar. It has some sort of padding around it. Okay, so you can see the padding right here. Okay, the green thing, and then it has its width and its height. So that's totally fine, but I don't really like the padding. Definitely I want the padding to be 0. So let me just go here and just type in here. Let me just remove these two things. We will style it later on, and let me just type in here P0, and that should remove the padding. So if I reload the page, it should look much differently. Yeah, there we have it. Cool. So if I just once again open it up, we should see the navigation bar, and it doesn't have any padding, any margin, any border. So that's cool. Then we have a link. So this is the navigation brand. So that's cool. It has some padding around it and some margin. We don't necessarily have to worry about it that much. Then we have the rest of this, right? So the navigation actual, and that's once again cool. We don't have any padding around it. So let me just style this out a little bit. So inside here I will just move it to the right part of the web by just typing margin left auto. And let me actually just add to every one of these links some padding on the y-axis of, let's say, 3. We can just add some padding on the x-axis also. And let's just see how that would look like. Okay, that's just one of them. So we can add this to every single one of them. Every single one of these nav items. Okay, like this. So let's see how that looks like. There we have it, looks cool. We can also put this whole content of the navigation into a container. I think it looks better if we just have a bit of space around the navigation. So let me just take this whole thing and Control exit inside of the container. So if I reload the page, we should have a bit of space around it. There it is. So cool. So we can just change this typo. Like this, and yeah, so that's basically the navigation taken care of. We will style it later on in our CSS, so don't worry about it. And another thing I forgot to add is that we want this to be fixed at top, okay, so that it is still at the top of the page even when we start to scroll. So that's a cool thing to do. All right, let me just go ahead and start out the hero section. And this hero section, I really like this one because it's a simple hero section with a video in it. So video is cool nowadays, so everyone use this. So I will just create a new section with the class of hero. We will not add any padding to it because we want the video to be directly at the top of the page, right? So like really at the top of the top, okay? So let me just create a new div with the class of row, or let me first of all put this inside a container. So inside here I will just add a div with the class of container, and inside of it we will put the row, and inside of the row we will have yeah, let me just also add justify content. So justify content center, because we will not fill all of those 12 spaces that row gives us, right? Row basically divide the width into 12 pieces, and we will use only 8 of these. So we need to move them to center actually. So that's what the justify content center does. So we want, even on middle devices, this one, the video, to have a width of 4 pieces, so basically a third of the screen. And inside here I will just add the video. So it's as simple as just typing the source of the video like this, and then you want to add something like, for example, autoplay, right? We want the video to play it automatically. We probably want this to be muted, right? So that if there's some sound, it doesn't start to scream at a user when he clicks on the website. And we probably also want the video to loop, right? So that there is like a infinite loop of the video. So if I reload the page, we should be able to actually see a video. There we have it. So that's our video. Cool. I've also put, yeah, this thing. So let's remove this thing. Yeah, so I think that this one looks cool. So inside here is a typo. It should be justify content center. And yeah, so with that, let me just create a second div. And this one will have the same class, but the content will be very different. So we will have, inside of this, we will have, let's just create another div with the class of hero content. And inside of this div, we will have some sort of headings. So let's just go with H1, and this should say something like your company. And then we will have some sort of smaller headings. So let's just go with H3. And let's just say this should be your mission. And then we will have some sort of paragraph, basically saying something about your company. So let me just go ahead and create a lorem ipsum generator, use some sort of lorem ipsum generator to get some text to our page. So I will just click on this generate, and inside here there's plenty of text. So I will just copy about this part of the text. Obviously you want to write your own text for your own client, but I will just keep it this way. And also we will have some link with the class of, let's just call this one main link. We will style it later on. Obviously you want to add a href to it, so add it. And let's just say that this one will be called learn more. Cool, so let me just reload the page, see how it looks like. The video will probably take, it takes just the whole screen, right, the whole width, so it overflows this call. So we need to style it out in our CSS. So let's just style inside here the overall video element, and the video element will have the width of 100%, and the height, let's just make it 100% for now, so that it takes everything, every space that is available to it. And also, if I reload the page now, so save it and reload the page, you can see, wow, okay, we need to make it important. So in here, important, and let's see whether that works. Okay, there we have it. So there's the video, but it is very small, right? You can see that this is like really small. So what we want to do is just add a object fit, and we want this to be cover. So what it actually does is that it maintains the aspect ratio, okay, so it's not like skewed or something like that, but it will fill the entire space that is available. So this is very, very great tool that you want to use with images, with everything. If you want to fill all the space that is available, right, like this, you want to and keep the aspect ratio. You want to use this, and I use it like very often, so I recommend you use it also. Cool. So with all of that, let me just style out. Let me just add some sort of padding and margins to this. So we will have a padding on y-axis of this and margin on y-axis of 5. Okay, so that should add a bit more space around it. Cool. And let me also just add to this thing the same classes. So padding on y, margin on y-axis of 5. And let me see how it looks like. There we have it. I think that this looks kind of cool. So yeah, we can just go with this. We probably want to just add some sort of spaces between these things. So inside here, I will just add a class that should add some padding on the y-axis to these headings. So this one should have it, and let me also add it to the paragraph like this. So let's reload the page, see how it looks like. There should be a bit more space. Wow, I think that there's probably more space. Okay, I probably didn't save it, so let me just try it again. Okay, there we have it. Cool. I think this looks nice. We can maybe change it out a little bit by just changing this one to, let's say, 2. And then we also want to add some sort of social icons to this. So maybe underneath. Yeah, probably underneath. Let's just add a div with the class of social links, and inside of this we will have a links that will have the class of just link, social link. And inside of this, once again, we want to add the href and stuff like that. Okay, but inside of this we will have a icon with the class of font awesome, and font awesome, let's just go with Facebook, and let's just use the square, so like this. And this is basically an icon of Facebook. We are using the font awesome icons. It's just free to use. I've got the link, right? I've imported it right here. Okay, this one. So cool. That's just one link. Let me paste another couple of these, and we probably want to add this into a div so that there is a, yeah, so that we can style it. So let's just call this one social link container, and we want to put this whole href, so this link, into the container like this. And let me just copy paste these just to have a couple of these links. So this one could be for Twitter, right? So let's just change this icon, so font awesome, and then just instead of Facebook Square we will have a font awesome Twitter, and then we will have, for example, Instagram, so that we are social. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me also add some sort of padding on the y-axis to this thing, and let's just add a lot of padding to this. So let's see how that would look like. There we have it. Cool, very nice. Though this is probably too much padding, so let's just keep it at like padding at the top of 5. Let's see how that would look like. Wow, that's probably still too much. So let's just go with, for example, 3. If I reload the page, there we have it. I think that this one is perfect. Cool. So let me just style out those icons a little bit in our CSS. So let's just go into main.css, and inside here I will just style the social link container, and I will say, okay, I need to remove this thing, and I will say that the what do we want to do? Well, we first of all want to display these as a inline block elements. So inline block, and let's see, it should move those into a one line. Yeah, cool. There we have it. Also, let's just add some sort of padding to this. We maybe want to do it in here, so we can just add this as a padding of, let's say, 3 right here. Okay, so that should just do the trick of adding padding. So let's just see how it looks like. There we have it. We can now just add, let's say, some sort of border. So border we could make it 1 pixel solid, and let's just go with black. And let's see how that would look like if we, for example, maybe make it even rounded. So yeah, there we have it. Let's just make it rounded large. And let me just also add a margin on the x-axis to these things. And yeah, if I make this rounded, so the large basically just say that the rounding or the border radius is larger. I pretty much don't see it, so yeah, I will just remove this and do the rounding in our main.css. So inside here I will just type in here the border radius, and let's just make it like 10%. Let's see how that would look like if I reload the page. There should be a lot of border. There we have it. I think that this looks nice. We can maybe change this padding of 3 and just say that the padding on y-axis will be 3 and the padding on x-axis will be 4, so that we have more space on the x-axis. I think that this looks better, so let me just go with that. So I'll just copy paste this one and replace all of those padding 3 in these two, and let's just reload the page and see how it looks like. I think that this looks actually cool. We can maybe add a shadow. Let's see how that would look like. So if I add the shadow class, it should add a bit of shadow to this. Yeah, I think that we probably want to go with shadow. It looks nice. So let's just go with that. And yeah, so that's about it. We will have in icons with shadow around them. We can maybe add some sort of hover effect to this. So let's just get this one. And let's just say that if we hover over it, we want the background color to be the black one. And we want the color to be let's just go with the primary color that we've had. So let's just go with this one. and let's see how that would look like if I reload the page and hover over it. Yeah, I think it looks kind of nice. Let's just go with that. Yeah. So cool. Let me also style those headings. So let me just go back, and we should have an H1, H3, and paragraphs and link. So okay, so let's do that. So underneath here, I will just style the whole H1 heading, and let's just add the font weight of 900, and let's just change the font size to something much bigger. So font size, and let's just make it 2 rems. Let's see how that would look like. We can maybe even make it uppercase. Okay, so 2 rems is a lot, is too little. Let's just go with 4. That should make a difference. Yeah, there we have it. I think that's too much probably. So let's just go with something like 3, maybe even 3.5. Though, yeah, let's just go with something like 3. Yeah, that looks nice. Let's just go with that. We can try to make this uppercase. Let's see how that would look like. So text transform and uppercase. Let's see how that looks like if I reload the page. There we have it. I think that it looked actually better as a normal text. So let's just go with that. Alright, so with that being done, let me just go to the H3 and let me change the font weight of this to 700. Let's see how that looks like. Okay, there we have it. I think it looks nice. Also, I think that the paragraph should have the font weight of 400. So I figured it out. There was something wrong with the link. If I imported it again, it works. But there was something wrong with the link, so I'm not sure. But cool. You should have the proper version, and it should look something like this. Currently, it looks much better with the font. Let me actually go ahead and try to change this to 300, because we've also imported the 300 font weight, and it should make it a bit lighter. And I think that we can actually go with this. I think that this looks actually nice. We can maybe change the font size of the H3 because the emission is also very important. So let's just go with 2 rems. Let's see how that would look like. So if I reload the page, there we have it. I think it looks nice. We probably want to change this to just padding of 2. I think that there's a lot of space, a lot of unnecessary space, to be honest. So that was the padding 2. Let's just go with that, and let me maybe just change this to 5, just to see how that would look like. So yeah, I think we want the video to be actually a bigger one, like this one. I think that this looks nice. So let's just go with that. Cool. We can maybe even try to go with 6, just to see how it would look like. All right. I think that we probably want to go with 5. I think that 5 might look actually better, but even this 6 doesn't look bad at all. What happens if we add a shadow to this? Let's see how that would look like. Alright, so we have some sort of padding around this. So let's just say that the padding will be 0. So let's remove the padding from the call. Yeah, nice. Let's just make this shadow large. Let's see how that would look like. So large. That will make the shadow just larger a bit. Okay, there we have it. I think that this looks better. Alright, we can just add maybe some margin, or let's just keep it this way. I think that this looks actually nice. We may want to add some sort of margin or to the video. We may want to add some sort of margin to the left side. So let's just add a glass, or we don't want to because we have a shadow in here, right? If we added a margin to the video, we would have a white space between the video and this div, and there is a shadow, so it would look very weird. Cool, so let's just keep it this way. I think that this looks actually very nice. Good. What else? What else we want to do? Your company, your mission. Let's just see. Oh, I forgot about the link. So the link, let's just style all the links available. I've used the class of main link, if I'm not mistaken, and let's just make this bold. So let's just say that the font weight should be 700, and let's just make it underline. So text transform or text decoration, and then should be underline like this one. Okay, and let's reload the page, see how it looks like. So we should have a bit. Okay, so the class of main link, I maybe made a typo. Mail link. Okay, it's a main link. So let's just change this thing and let's see how it looks like. There we have it. I think that this looks actually nice, though we don't have the text decoration underneath this. So let's just make this important. Let's see how that looks like. I'm not sure why. There it is. Cool. We may want to even add some sort of arrow to this. So let's just go to the Font Awesome documentation for the version that we are using, and let me just go and search for a arrow. I think that this would look nice. So arrow, and arrow down, we would like the arrow right. Okay, so this one I will just copy paste this at the end of the text of the button. So right here after this learn more. Let me just add some sort of margin to the left part. Let's just make it margin of left 2. So let's just see how that would look like if I reload the page. Okay, there we have it. Sadly, it is not really, it really isn't underlined. So we probably want to do, instead of this text transform or instead of this text decoration, let's just add a border to the bottom. So that should do the trick. So border bottom, and let's just make it 2 pixels solid and black like this. Let's see how that would look like. There it is. I think that this looks much nicer. Yeah, let's just go with that. Let's just go with that. We may want to also add the font size. So let's just say that the font size, and let's just make it, for example, 1.2 rems. Let's see how that would look like. I think that this would look even better. So let's see. There we have it. I think that this looks nice. So let's just go with that. Let's just go with that. Okay. We also probably want to separate these social links. So I will just change this to padding top of 5. So that there is more space between these links. Yeah, I think that this looks actually nice. So let's just go with this. Let me also style the navigation. So right here, let's just go with the navigation bar. So I will style the navbar, and first of all, let me style the navbar brand. So that's basically our logo. So we want the font weight to be 700. So let's make it bold, and let's also say that the font size. So font size will be 1.8 rems. Let's go with that. Let's see how that would look like. It should make it a lot larger. There we have it. We can maybe we can change it to black color, right? So the color could be black like this. Let's reload the page, see how it looks like. There we have it. That's nice. Yeah, we can also change these links. So inside here we should have a nav item, if I'm not mistaken, and inside of this there is a link. So let me just style the link for now. So directly inside of this there is a link, and let me just change the color and let's make it black. Let's see whether we are targeting this correctly. Yeah, we are. We can maybe even change the font size. So the font size, and let's make it a bit larger with 1.2 rems. So let's reload this thing, see how it looks like. Yeah, there it is. Nice. Yeah, I think that this is actually a way to go. We can also style the kind of main, what was that? Main link, if I'm not mistaken. nav button. All right, so nav button. Let's just style this. So inside here I will have a nav button class, and we will style it out. So the background color of this thing should be this blue one, this primary. Let's see how that looks like if I reload the page. We should have, yeah, there it is. I think that this actually looks kind of nice. We can just add some sort of border to the border radius to the bottom. So border radius to the bottom right and bottom left. So let's just make it 10%, both of these, so left and right. So let's just copy paste this, change left to right, and let's save this thing. Let's reload it and see how it looks like. We should have a bit of yeah, there it is. I think it looks nice. I would probably go with this. We can maybe add even a bit more. Let's just go with 15%. Let's see how that would look like. Yeah, let's go with 15. I think that this looks actually very nice. So let's just go with that. But okay, I think that we've pretty much got it. Right now, when I don't like pretty much the navbar being too close to the video. So I would like the video to actually maybe just make it call MD of 5. That should probably do the trick. So just that, yeah, there is a space between these two. I think that this looks actually better, so let's just go with that. And let's also make the video rounded at the bottom. So I will just go back here, and the video, or maybe the div, I'm not sure. Let's just try the div. Let's just say that the video, or yeah, let's just try this video div. And inside here I will just target it out, so somewhere here. Let's go here and video div, and I will just add a border radius to the bottom. Let's just go with 15%, and let me just add it to all of these. Let's see whether that actually works. Okay, it doesn't. So if I just target the video, it might actually work. So there we have it. Cool. But the shadow is not working. So inside of this, let me just try to put the shadow to the video. So shadow large, like this. Let's see whether that would change these things up. Okay, there we have it. That looks nice. So I will just change this border radius to make it a bottom. So let me just actually copy paste these two, because this is actually what we need. We want the border only at the bottom of the video, and let's just make it like around 5%, because this is a huge div. So we probably don't want the border radius to be large. Yeah, but this looks very, very nice. I would go with this. No question asked. So with all of that being done, let me actually just add a smaller margin. So let's just say that this one will be only margin from top. So I will make it a bit smaller. There we have it. And I will make the video actually in here. I will just change it, do a little bit of trick, because I want this to actually overflow the div where it is, via the height. So I will say that it will have 110% of the height. Okay, so it's right now, right here. That's maybe too much, we will see. But anyways, I want to add, right underneath this hero, I want to add a section called something like a call to action. And inside here I will have a section with the class of background primary. If I'm not mistaken, let me just check this thing. Oh, primary BG. All right. So let's just copy paste this thing in here, and let's just close this thing. And also let me add a padding on the y-axis of around 5. And let's see how that would look like, because I want this to actually overflow to the second div. Yeah, so that we have exactly this. That's exactly what I wanted. And I think that this looks really, really cool. So let's just go with that. I like this. I like this very much. So let me just start out filling this call to action. So inside here, I will have just a something like a container. And inside of the container, I will have another div with the class of row. And inside of the row, we will have a div with the class of call large or with medium even. And let's just go with maybe 5. And let's just justify the content to center. So justify content center, so that we have more space around this. And let's just also add some sort of div that will have, like, let's just go with 3. And inside here we will have the actual link. So I will just type in here a with the class of main link, right? So a with the class of main link. And you obviously want to add the href to it. I will just add call to action. However you want to name this button, that's up to you. Maybe something like sign up or something like that. So inside of this heading, I will just type in here call to action. We don't want this to be H1, we don't want it probably to be H2, right? Because this is kind of the section heading. For section headings, you usually want to use something like a H2, with H1 being reserved to the most important thing on the website, and which have the biggest impact on the website. And there should be only one H1 heading in the whole document for the SEO. And I think that this one describing your company actually is the one to go with. All right, so let's just call this one section heading. And let's let's just keep it this way. We'll keep it simple. Let's see how it looks like now. So we should have just, call to action. We probably want to add just some sort of margin to this row. So margin on the y-axis of 5, because currently it's underneath the video or above the video, so we cannot really see it. There we have it, nice. And let's also add some sort of text to this one. So I will just copy paste this whole thing and put it inside here as a paragraph. And let's just paste this thing. Let's see how it looks like if I reload the page. We also definitely need to add some sort of margin to this thing so that it is more downward. So let me also just add a padding on the y-axis of 5 to this whole thing. And let's see how that would look like. We want to move this downwards a little bit. Yeah, I think that this looks actually nice. And also let me just add some sort of padding to this div. So inside here, I would just say that the padding from right should be something so that it is not, so that there is a bit of space between the headings and the video. I think that this looks much better. So let's just go with that. Cool. So with all of that being done, we can also, let's just add another kind of article. You can maybe sorry, I will just close this thing, and inside here I want to copy paste this thing. So right here, nice. And you can maybe change this into a about us section of the page. Feel free to do so if you want. I will just add some sort of padding to this on the y-axis of, let's say, just 3. And I will do the same for the nav link, but this time I have to do margin on the y-axis because we have border in there, right? If we added a padding, it would basically move the line down by quite a lot. But for some reason, the margin, okay, we cannot do this to a link. So let's just put this link inside of a div, because link is a inline element, right? So we cannot basically just add margin to this. We need some block element. Div is a block element, so let's just do it this way. It should move it down a little bit. If I reload the page, there we have it. Nice. And once again, as I was saying, you can basically change this call to action section into something like a about us section. I will just add underneath this, I will just add a another div with the class of video container, and I will add another video because I really like how the videos looks like. And let's just make this page about videos. So the source should be just video 2. Alright, so I've downloaded a new video, and let's just make it once again autoplay. Let's just make it muted, and let's just make it a loop like this, and let's see how it actually looks like. It should automatically get these classes. Okay, there we have it. Nice. So let me just let me just make this larger. So we need this to have a lot larger padding, or we can just maybe say that the video container should have some sort of width. So let's just do that. So let's just go here, and let's just say in here I will just create a new comment for call to S. We want the video to be larger, right? So in order to do that, I will just say that the container of the video, so basically this element, video container, will have some sort of height. Okay, so video container will have some sort of height. So let's just say that the height will be 20 rems. Let's just go with that. Let's see how that would look like. That's maybe too little. Yeah, there it is. But I think it actually looks fairly nice. We can add, what are the classes that we are using for the video in this section? Because I don't see. Okay, so shadow large. Okay, so if I add shadow large to this video, so class of shadow large, and let's see how that would look like. So just something about us with a video with a shadow large, but I cannot see how we have border. Yeah, okay, so we have a video div class. So the video div class will add some sort of border to this. We can maybe just target this via this video container, and let's just say inside here that we want the border radius to be 5%, no matter what, no matter where. Every border will be 5%. So let's see how that would look like if we just add it this way. It doesn't work, so we need to target obviously the video element. So my bad. Like this, and let's see how that would look like now. I think that this should work just fine. Yeah, there we have it. We can maybe make it a bit larger, so we can just go here and make this call MD just 4. Let's just go with that, just to see it more properly. There we have it. Yeah, it's kind of up to you what you want to use and how you want to use this. I will leave it up to you. So feel free to decide exactly how you want the video to look like. I will just keep it this way because I kind of like it. Cool, so nice. Let me just style the section heading. So inside here I will just type the section heading, and let me just say that the font weight should be, let's just go with 700. Let's see how that would look like. So the call to action should be bolder, much bolder now. If I reload the page, there we have it. So it looks kind of nice. And let me also add the font size, and let me change this to, let's just go with 2 rems. Let's see how that would look like. So rem, and let's reload the page. So I want the text to be a bit larger, just to fit the space available. So it pretty much didn't work, so let's just go with something even bigger. So let's just go with 2.5. 2.5 should look better. Let's just see. Okay, there it is. I think it got larger, so I think that this looks actually nicer. It's up to you whether you want to style it this way or whether you want to move this text into left, so into right, so text right, and this should move this more towards the video and towards the link, that's up to you. I think that this looks actually nicer, and that we can actually just add the same style to this thing as we did with the video in here, right? So that we are consistent. So we will remove the padding and we will add a padding to left to this whole div. Okay, so remove the padding and let's add the padding to left, and let's reload the page so that there is a same space between these two, right? And I think that this looks actually very nice. We can maybe just go ahead and just add another paragraph just to make it like really about us section with a lot of text around it. But with that being done, we probably want to make the video larger. And let me actually just remove this and let's see how that would look like if I load the page. Okay, it just takes this small part of the website. Let me just actually start out the developer tools and let's see. So we have a div, and okay, so this video container, so we have a div, and inside of this we have the video container class. And let me just say that this one should have the height of 100%. So it will take all the height available. Cool. And this should actually look better. Yeah, let's just go with this one. So height of 100% for this div, like this. And let's also just change this thing so that we don't have, or we can, yeah, let's just do it this way. So I've got an idea. We can just add the second section and do the same effect that is right here with this video. So I will just remove the padding that we got here. So I will just say that this is a padding at top, and then I will create a new section that will be just let's say portfolio, and we will have a section with the class of padding on Y of 5, and it should kind of overflow. This video should overflow to that section. Yeah, there we have it, and it looks very nice. So let's just go with that. Feel free to maybe move the call to action button here. I will probably do that because it really doesn't make sense to have it in there. So I will just take this, move it in here, and let's reload the page, see how that would look like. I think that this should look actually better. Yeah, there we have it. I think that this looks actually nice, though we are having some sort of, wow, I'm not sure what is going on, why the video is got a bit smaller, right? Because of this. Okay, so it just overflows by just a little bit. Let me just check this thing. So we've got a margin to this. So let's just say that this is a margin at the top, not margin at bottom. And this doesn't help. So we have a call. So let's just close this thing, and then we have a second call. Wow. So let me start out the developer tools and actually take a look at this, because there is something going on. And okay, so we have, all right, so this, instead of padding on Y, we want padding on top, like this. Yeah, okay, so that was the bug, right? So instead of the padding on Y axis, we want padding on top, and we actually can make the margin on a Y axis larger. So like this. Let's see how it looks like. Yeah, that's much nicer. And let me also just add the padding to the end of this. So the call to action should have padding on bottom. Let's just go with 5 so that there is more space underneath. It should make the video also larger, but that's okay. I think that this looks actually nice, so let's just go with that. I think that this looks very nice. Cool, so let's just move on to our portfolio part of this website. So the portfolio will once again have a div with the class of container, and inside of the container we will have a div with the class of row, and we once again want to justify the content to center. So justify content center, and let's just go with this one. Let's just add a this with the class of call medium of 5. So like this, and this will be one of our portfolio items. So let's just reload the page, see how it looks like. There really isn't anything seen, so not surprisingly. So I will just add a h2 heading with the class of section heading. And let's just say that the text here should be center, and let's just say that this is our portfolio, and let's reload the page, see how it looks like. There we have it. I think that this looks actually very nice. We can maybe add a bit of margin at the top, so margin on the y-axis of this whole portfolio thing, and let's make it 5 so that there is more space. Okay, not sure what happened, whether it worked or not, but it should. Yeah, and let me just create the this sort of service thing, or however or portfolio thing, however we want to call this. So let's just create a new article with the class of portfolio item, so that we can actually style it later on in our CSS. Let's actually add a shadow to it, and let's make the let's also use the large shadow, and let's well, let's just say that the padding will be just 3. Okay, and then inside of this we will have a image with the class of image fluid. So obviously, whatever image you want to use for your portfolio, I will just type in here the image that I've got in here. So let's just go with portfolio 1. You probably want to add a alt, so a text for the SEO, but I will just keep it blank for now, because really this isn't a page that would work. Yeah, so we want to remove this padding from here, sorry about it, and let's just add it in here. So let's just say this should be, yeah, padding of 3, and let's just go with that. Or we can just say that this would be a margin in here, right? So yeah, let's move it in here, and let's say that this will be margin of 3. Nice. And inside of this, so this is our portfolio item. Nice. And we may want to add just some sort of text underneath. So with div with the class of portfolio item text, we will add some padding to this. So let's just go with padding of 3, and we will have some sort of h3 heading, and this one should say portfolio item, and let's see how that looks like. So we should have, yeah, there it is. Nice. We will style it later on. We can have some sort of simple description of the item, so just something like simple description of the portfolio item, like this. And if I will load the page, yeah, nice. So what do we want to do now is just style this out a little bit. So I will just say that this should have a class of text center, or we probably want the whole thing to have the text centered, right? So inside here I will just type in here text center. We may want to add some sort of social links to this, and I think that these links that we've used at the top of the page are pretty good for this. So in this hero section I will just use these social links. So I will just copy paste it in here, so right underneath this thing, paste it, save this thing, let's reload it and see how it looks like. There should be some sort of, yeah, there we have it. We probably don't want the padding at top to be that large. Let's just say that there will be like padding at top of 2. Let's see how that would look like. Yeah, nice. And we may want to do this we may want to change this so that it's a bit smaller. So let's just change the padding on y-axis to 2 and padding on x-axis to 3, and let's see how that would look like. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with the smaller padding for these social icons. So I'll just copy paste it to all of these 3. Let's save this thing. Let's see how it looks like now. Yes, that's much better. So very nice, very nice. We can maybe just experiment a little bit, and let's just say primary BG to this whole thing. I'm not sure how it would look like. Let's just try. Okay, obviously not this whole thing, but to the whole text. Okay, so this div, and let's see how that would look like if we added the, yeah, there it is. I think that we may actually want to go with this. Let's go with this. Okay, and let's make the text of this white. So let's just style this one as a portfolio item. And let's just make the color of this white. So FF. That's my favorite white color. You may want to go with just the plain white. So just an FFF. Like this. There's not that big of a difference. Yeah, I think that this looks actually nice. Though we probably want to change the social links, right? So let's just make this with the social link. Let's just make it important so that it isn't overridden by our style. So yeah, so let's just change it in here. So portfolio item. And let's just target the social links, social link container, and let's just say that the color of this should be black. So one more 0, and let's see how it looks like now. There we have it. Yeah, nice. Though, let's maybe try to change the background color of this one to white. I think that this would look actually very nice. So let's just change the background color to white, because currently at the green background a green icons doesn't look very nice, but I think that this looks actually fairly nice. So let's just go with that. Yeah, I think this is the way to go. We may want to try to use the color primary, so this one. Let's see how that would look like. So there is a lot of trying with this, just to see and find out how things looks like. Yeah, let's just go with this one, and let's maybe just remove the border. So border should be none. Let's see how that would look like, because currently the border is kind of, yeah, this is nice. This is nice. Let's just go with that. Cool. So I think that if we style the heading a little bit, I think that we are good to go. So let me just target the H3 inside of our portfolio item. So let's just copy paste this thing. So copy paste, and I will target the H3 heading. Let's just change the font weight of this to 700, and let's see how it would look like with uppercase. So text transform uppercase. Let's see if I reload the page. Yeah, there it is. I don't know, probably not, right? So probably not. We can just remove this uppercase, and let's just say that the font size could be something like, let's just go with 2.5 rems, and let's see how that would look like. That's maybe too much. So yeah, let's just go with something. Let's try the other end. Let's try to make this really small. So 1.5. Let's see how that would look. Yeah, I probably would go with something a little bit larger. 1.8 I think should do it. Yeah, so with that, I think that this is really done, and let me just copy paste all of these. Okay, so I've copy pasted everything, and after some consideration I've also decided to remove this padding at top of the social links. So if I just save this thing and reload it, let's see how it looks like. Yeah, there it is. A bit of less space in here. I think that this looks much better. So yeah, let's just go with this, and let's just go and create our theme section. So, or some sort of what our clients say section. That's up to you. So let's just call this one clients. Yeah, let's just go with clients. So this will be a section with a class of primary background, primary BG, and inside of this we will have some sort of div with the class of container, and inside of the container we will have another div, the class of row, and inside of the row we will have another div with the class of what our client says. So we will have some sort of image, and the image could be something like call middle of free. Yeah, let's just go with that. So we will use like fourth of the screen for the image. So image with the source of image, and let's just go with comments 1, and let's also add a class to this. The class should be rounded image, so rounded circle like this, and let's also add a class saying that this would be a image fluid, so image fluid, but like this, so fluid. And I think I made a typo, right? So okay, so fluids, sorry about it. And let's just close this tag. Obviously you want to add the alt and other things, but I will just keep it this way. Let's reload the page and see what do we got. Okay, there we have it, and it looks nice. Good. So what I will do is just add a padding to this whole section, and yeah, let's just keep it this way. And let me also add a h2, the section heading. So class section heading, and inside of this we will have some sort of what our clients say. And yeah, let's make it center, so also text center, like this. And let's see how it looks like. If I reload the page, there we have it, what our clients say. And yeah, the font finally loaded. So yeah, with all of that, we may want to put this whole thing. Yeah, so let me just actually finish up what the clients say. So we will have another div with the class of call large. Let's just go with 6, or yeah, I think, yeah, let's just go with middle of 6. And we also probably need to change this to 4 so that the other articles don't move up. Okay, so just make it 4 and 6. And let's also say that this will be justify content center, like this. And let's reload the page, see how it looks like. It should be moved a bit into the page, right into the center. It really isn't. So justify content, not sentence, content center. And let's reload the page. This should help out. Yeah, there it is. And let's also make this, let's see whether this thing will look like. So if I just try to do text right, sorry, let's see whether it will move the image to right. Yeah, it will. So cool, nice. Let's just add some sort of padding to this. So padding on y-axis will be just 5. Let's just do the same for this one. We may want to try to add a shadow to this image. So let's see how it look like. So shadow large, class added to the image. Let's see. Okay, so there is a bit of shadow. I think that this looks nice. Let's just go with that. And inside here, I just want to add the testimonial. So let's just go with heading of 4, which should be a name. So Ava Doe, and inside here should be what she says. Then we can add, I don't know, we can just put some lorem ipsum content in here. So I will just copy paste this whole thing, That seems like the amount of what the user could say about our service. Let's reload the page, see how it looks like. Okay, we will style it later on, so don't worry about it. So right here, I just want to add some sort of margin to this. So with this heading, I will just add padding from top of, let's just go with 5, and padding at bottom of, let's just go with 3. Let's see how that looks like. Yeah, there it is. I think that this looks actually kind of nice. We may want to just change this to something smaller because the text currently is quite far away. Yeah, so I think that this looks actually very nice. We can maybe just really make it really small so that there is a little, very little space. All right. Cool. So let me also just add some sort of icons to this. The quote icon. So I think, if I remember correctly, it should be icon with the class of, icon with the class of FA quote right. So FA quote, or in this case left. This is the first one. Let's just close this thing and let's see whether I got this correctly. It should be the quote sign. There it is. Yeah. Let me just add some sort of margin to this. So margin to the right of, let's just go with 2, and let's see how that looks like. Okay, that's good. And let me just add the closing tag. So in here at the end of this whole paragraph, I will just add the pretty much same thing, only this time the margin will be from left and the quote will be from right. So let's just see how it looks like. If I reload the page, there we have it. I think that this looks very nice. So let's just go back and yeah, I think that this is very good. We may want to add some sort of paragraph with the class of date, so that we, for example, know when this testimonial was taken place, right? So let's just say that this she said that on 20th of March. So let's just add this. We will style it in our CSS. So let's actually just go ahead and do that. So right under here, I will just add the section of clients, and for every one of these clients, we will style the, what do we want to style? We want to style the heading, right? So the H4. Do we have some sort of class in here? We don't. So yeah, let's just give this into a div with the class of client content. Okay, so client content, and we will put all of these inside of this, and we will target the client content in here. So client content, and we want to target the H4, right? And what do we want this? So we want the font weight to be much bolder. Let's just go with 900. Let's see how that would look like. So this would make it really, really bold. Okay, there it is. I think that this looks actually very nice, so let's just go with that. We can also make the paragraph somehow different with different colors. So client content, the paragraph, and let's just say that the color will be white. Let's see how that would look like if I reload the page, because currently I'm having a bit of problems reading this, and when it is white, I think it's actually better. Though we might just change these icons, but let's just keep it this way. Let's see, and I will also change the date. So client content date, and this one will have definitely the color of black one, and let's also make it bold. So font weight, and let's make it 700. Let's see how that would look like. We also probably want to delete those margins, right, from those paragraphs. So the paragraph right here, we want the margin to be 0, because by default the browser actually adds some sort of margin to every paragraph. So we just want to remove the whole margin thing. So instead of, yeah, I will just put it right here. So margin 0. Yeah, and that should remove a bit of the margin, a bit of the space in here. So let's see how that looks like now. Okay. We may want to just, instead of padding top of 5, move this a bit upward. And maybe we want to make the date a bit larger. So let's just go with font size. And let's just make it 1.2 rems. Let's just see how that looks like. Okay, there it is. I think that this looks actually fairly nice. Yeah, we can maybe play with this a little bit more, but I will just keep it this way. It's a fairly simple way to do these clients. It's kind of clean. I will just keep it this way, and I will just copy paste all of these. Okay, so I've copied all of the items, and I've also just mixed things out a little bit. So this is one of our items, one of our clients, and then on the next line I switched those two parts. So I've put the text first and then the image second, but that caused the thing to look like this. So let me just fix this by typing here, we want this to be text right. We want this to be text left and this one to be text right. So let's just type in here text right, and let's see how that looks like, whether we fix this. So let's just remove the class of text right from the image and move it to the first div. Okay, so let's just fix it also for this last one. So let's just get this thing and put it in here, and let's see how it looks like. I think that this should look cool. Yeah, so there we have it. I think that this looks actually nice. Alright, so I've given it a little bit of thought, and I think that it looks better if we just make the color of the paragraph black and just change the font size a bit so that it is more readable. But I think that this looks actually quite cool, so let's just go with that. And also let me just add some sort of padding to the heading of this section, so that we have more space around this. So let's just say padding on the y-axis of 5 with this what our clients say. Yeah, so that looks much better. Okay, so let's just move on to the contact section. So I will just close this thing up and start our contact section. So contact, and yeah, there is typo, but whatever. This will be a section with the class of contact, and let's also add a padding on the y-axis to this thing, and let's just create a new div with the class of container, and let's just add right inside of this. So right inside of this, let's just add the heading. So h2 with the class of section heading, and let's also add the padding on the y-axis for this, and let's just call this one contact us, like this. Nice. And inside of this we will create a new div with the class of row, and inside of this we will have a new div with the class, or we can just use a form element, so form with the class of call md6, and let's also use justify content center in here. So justify content center, like this, and let's see how it actually looks like. If we reload the page, there should be something white right underneath. Yeah, there it is. We probably want the contact us to be at center, so text center, like this, and let's just go with that. Let's just style this form. So we will have a div with the class of form group or input group, however you want to call this, and we will have a label, and then we will have a input. So the label will just say something like your name, and the input will say pretty much the same thing. So input, input, and let's just add the placeholder to this. Obviously we want to fill out every information that is needed, right, for this input, but for this template we can just leave it blank. And I will just paste this a couple of times. So for example, your phone, and maybe your email, and then we will have the text area. So text area, and I'll just close this thing out. So text area like this. Nice. And also change this to message. Okay, cool. So if I reload the page, we should get some sort of form. It's pretty much, it looks horrible right now, but yeah, this is our form. We also probably want to add some sort of button. So let's just go with button, and let's just add a class to this of button and button main, because we will need to style this out a little bit. So let's just also add right now a padding on the x-axis and padding on the y-axis of a little bit, and let me just add the text which will say send. So let's just reload the page, see how it looks like. Yeah, there it is. Alright, and let's just style it out in our CSS. So inside here I will just create a new comment called contact, and I will just style every input and every text area that we have. And let me just remove this whole thing, and let's just say that the width should be 100%. Okay, so it will take all of the available space. Nice. And let me just style it out a little bit more by just saying that the padding should be on the x-axis, should be something larger. Let's just go with 1 rem, and on the y-axis let's just go with 0.5 rems, and let's see how that would look like. Okay, there you have it. Nice. We can just say that there should be just no border, so border none, and let's see how that would look like if we remove the border, and let's just make the background some color. So let's just say that the background color should be the black one. Let's see how that would look like. So this would be a crazy form. Okay, and let's just say that the color will be the primary one. So like this. Let's see how that will look like. We may want to also add some sort of shadow to this. So let's just see if I add a class of shadow large, how this would look like if I just copy paste it to every single one of these, or let me just copy paste it here and see how it looks like. So if I reload the page, there it is. I would use the shadow, definitely use the shadow. So paste it, paste it. Okay, nice. You may want to just try out different colors. Maybe some gray color might do better job. So if I, instead of this, type in here something like 999, it might look even better. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, let's maybe go with this one actually. And if we start typing, it actually is really not visible. So let's just go with FFF, so the white text. So if I, for example, inside here start typing, yeah, we are clear. It's nice and clear. So let's just go with this. You may want to play with this a little bit, maybe change this to some smaller amount or something larger. Up to you. I will leave it up to you. You may want to just change this whole thing. Wait a minute. If I just change this to 3. Okay, so this is padding on y-axis. For some reason I thought that this should be padding on the x-axis. So let's just go with the 0.7 and let's just use the 1 in here. Let's see how that would look like. So that there is a bit of space. Okay, I think that this looks actually nice and clean. We may want to just use a bit larger padding in here. But yeah, okay, let's just go with that, and let me also style the button main. And this one should have the background color of let's just go with the black one, and let's just go with the color of the primary one. So color is the primary one, and let's see how it looks like. If we just reload the page, there it is. I think that this looks actually nice, although we have to actually fix up the hover effect. So button main hover, and if we hover over it, let's just say that the color will change to white one. so white. And let's see how it looks like now. If I reload the page, hover over it, there it is, it turns white. Nice. And let me maybe put this at center. So let me just put everything in here into center, so this might look better. So text center in this whole div. So let's see how it looks like now. If I reload the page, there it is. I think that this looks better. So let's just go with that. Yeah, so that's basically the contact us section finished up. And let me finish off by creating the footer. So footer, and inside of this we will have a div with the class of container. And we will have some sort of basic info about our page. So let's just create a new div with the class of call large. Let's just go with 5, and with both of these I will put another one in here, and this one might be just something rather smaller. Let's also justify it to center. So justify content center. And let's also add some sort of padding to this, so padding on the y-axis of 5. And let's see how it looks like. We probably want to make this black, right? So that it's different from the everything from the web, right? So let's just type in here footer, and let's make it black. So footer will have the background color of black one. And let's make the color white by default. So color will be white for everything that we will write. So let's reload the page, see how it looks like. There it is. And let me just start out by in here creating some sort of heading of, let's say, just level 4. And this would be our brand. So let's just call this one navbar because we have it in our navigation bar. And let's also add some sort of paragraph. I will just copy paste this entire thing because that's like there should be like more text about our company. So let's just reload the page, see how it looks like. So if I go down, there it is. Nice. I'd probably go with that. And let me just change this class to footer logo. And let me just style it out right away. So inside here I will just type the class of footer logo, and I will say that the color will be actually the primary one. And let's just say that the font weight might be something like 700, and let's just say that the font size got a lot larger, like 2.5 rems. Let's see how that would look like. If I reload the page, there it is. 2.5 is probably too large. So let's just check out what we've used in here. 1.8. Okay, so let's just use 1.8 to keep things consistent. So 1.8, save, and let's reload the page. And there we have it. Nice. We can maybe add some sort of social icons to this. I will leave it up to you. If you want to do so, feel free to do so. I will just keep it this way, and inside here I will just add some sort of links. So I will just add some sort of h4. Let's see how that would look like. If we just type in here useful links. Let's see if I load the page. Okay, it's somehow, for some reason, I forgot about the class row. So inside here I will create a new div with the class of row, and I will just put all of this inside of it, right? So let's just put it in here. Let's reload the page. It should be somewhere around here. There it is. And also the justify content center should go right here. Okay, right here. So let's reload the page, see how it looks like. There it is. Nice. And let me just also make this a bit larger so that it is not pushed aside. And let's also add these links. So we will have an unordered list with some sort of list items, with some sort of links, and this one will just say home. I will leave it up to you to just add those those href and stuff like that. You probably want to add terms of service. You probably want to add some sort of contact, even though the contact form is right above. You want to add some sort of privacy and stuff like that, right? And you may even want to add just link to your to sections of the website. So if you want, you can just simply put it in here. I'll leave that up to you. You may want to, for example, add some sort of social links in here, so that it just looks a little bit better. You may want to add some sort of Facebook widget in here. Yeah, that's a lot of pages use this these days. And maybe let me just copy paste these social links to see how it would look like if we just put it down here with no change or anything like that. Okay, there it is. So yeah, it just looks like this. If you want, you can just play with this a little bit. So if I just remove the padding and I will just move it like this, so I will remove the couple of the last links and just move it in there. You can just leave it there, that's up to you. I will just probably I would probably put this more underneath this section. Okay, so right here, that's probably a better way to place them. So yeah, so these things should go probably around here, and the padding at top should be something smaller. So if I reload the page, there should be somewhere around here. Let's see, there they are. And the padding at top is something smaller, maybe even more small. Let's just remove it altogether. That will probably look even better. And yeah, let's also just add the contribution. So at the total end, I will just add the class div with the class of text center. And we want to move this away from the row, right? So underneath the row, let's just add the div with the class of text center with the padding on y of 5. And let's just say that there will be a paragraph with made by me, and the copyright, so copy, and 2020, and let's say just all rights reserved. Alright, so I've just realized that we have one thing left to do, which is to fix the header. When we start scrolling, we want it to have some sort of background. So let's just do that. Inside here, I will just type some sort of JavaScript, and we will actually use jQuery for this, just to make things simpler. So we will target the document, and once it is ready, so this is just once everything is loaded, we will actually write some sort of function that will execute. Okay, so once everything is loaded, we will execute this function. So we will actually listen up to window, and whenever it starts scrolling, okay, so whenever a scroll happens, we will just call a function, this default function that we just created. Okay, so window, when it starts scrolling, we will call this function. Obviously they needs to be like this. Nice. And in here we want to do is just check and check whether the document, right, and the scroll to top, so it have a scroll to top actually option, so that you can figure out how many I think it's pixels it's away from the top of the page. So if it is greater than, let's just type 0, what we want to do is just target the navbar, so dot navbar, and we want to set the CSS of this, and what we want to do is set the background color, so background color, and we want to make it white. So inside here I will just type the FFF, or you can type 6 of them, but I will just leave it with 3. Hopefully it will work. And also I will just type in here into the else branch, so that would mean we are back at top. We want to change it back to transparent. Okay, so inside here I will just type in here the navbar, sorry, there needs to be class, so class navbar, and we want to target the CSS, and we once again want to change the background color. So background color, and let's change it to transparent this time. And let's see whether that actually works. So if I reload the page, we should be able to, when we start, yeah, there it is. So nice, very nice. So when we start scrolling, it gets white, but yeah, when we go back to top, it becomes, you can maybe put a little bit more in here. So for example, something like 30. So if I reload the page, if it starts maybe a bit too late, right? A bit later. So yeah, that's up to you. I will just keep it this way. And that is pretty much it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like button. Feel free to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. And I will see you next time.